a happy and peaceful life? If yes, then instead of writing this freaking code and start using form assembly to build a web forms, beautiful web forms to capture a data directly into Salesforce by just few steps. Before before jumping into the session, actually, I would like the technical features and stuff. I just want to say that when it comes to Salesforce App Exchange, you can easily log in into form assembly, Salesforce, or App Exchange, as you may call it. Form assembly has very high rating and App Exchange, and users integration with Salesforce is there is form assembly, and form assembly works with all kind of Salesforce features or Salesforce versions like Lightning, Classic, Force.com, and many other. And like you may have read this, form assembly is an all-in-one web form building and data collection solution. And like I mentioned, it works very robustly with Salesforce and App Exchange. And I will show you how easy it is to create a form and to connect it with Salesforce and to push that data into the Salesforce, because that is what everyone is trying to do these days. They're trying to go more digital, more paperless, more digital transformative, especially with the pandemic hitting us. A lot of our customers have actually been calling in and saying that they are trying to go entirely paperless in many aspects. And form assembly is already many steps ahead, and data security is very seriously taken place here. So now we will go to the demo part. So while building the form, how to configure, we are going to see how to configure it and create a record in the Salesforce to form assembly. So I'm going ahead and beginning and showing it in the assembly instance. So as you can see, this is my form assembly instance. Once you log in, whether you log in through Salesforce or App Exchange, or you log in through simply a formassembly.com, this is the page that comes up. And what's really great about this is you can find all the forms here available, whichever you have created, that every day is sort of exciting for you when you use form assembly, and also so easy to understand and so easy to navigate around. You can simply get new form. I just go and click on this. This is blank form. Here I'm going to click the blank form, and there are many other options over here. That is, we can go through templates also, and here we have customized templates present in it over here. And there we have the Salesforce import option. I'm going to go back later to it. And here has a clone form option. In this clone form, if someone has built a form and it is huge or it is big, or if you want to build it again, instead of doing that, he can just clone it. So first we'll go with the blank form. Then we can see here, we can add the contents over here. First we'll add a section because it looks organized. Then we can edit this title as full name. And then edit the title as personal information. Portal. And this we will add few text inputs. as first name. We'll have one more another last name. It's so easy. We just have to drag and drop. We will create one more section for contacts. So we'll just click on save, and we can just view the form by clicking on this view button. The form is submitted successfully. We can check it in form assembly. Here in responses, you can see the data has been, whatever data we have written there has been, we have created one record, and here we can even download it by CSV file, HTML or XML or PDF or any attachment over here. So now we have to connect this with with Salesforce. For that you have to go in this connector. This connector has this timelines like form opened, form submitted, and after form submitted. And as you want to connect the this form assembly forms with Salesforce, so on the submit button, so we will go on this add connector for submit button, and here we will directly go to Salesforce, and then we have to configure it. Yes, here you can see the Salesforce access. This orgs which we had already used are visible here. And if you're a new user and if you want to create a new org to connect, then you can just hit on this connect to Salesforce button, and you can connect your org. Mine it's already present here, so I will go with this. So we can just enable it and just wait for connector instructions to get loaded. So as soon as you get the instruction downloaded, you have to select your object. You can have custom object as well as a standard object. We have created an custom object which is form assembly. I will select as update here. When we click here on update, we can even create a new record as well as update it. So we can use update here, and I will do lookup with last name. And email ID. So here we have done that lookup relations, that is last name is equal to the record page of last name. Email from the form assembly field is related to the email of the form we have created. So if this last name which we are writing is equal to the name which we are creating new, then the record is not created. If there is no match between the last name and email ID means which you have created, that time the new record is created instead. And if there is single match of a last name, then record is updated. And we have multiple matches, last name and email, then the new we create a new record instead. So now we need to map our fields with the fields present in the object. So first we'll take the first name. As such, we will map our all fields. Email ID. So mapping and lookup is done. Therefore, we'll save this. And we can view our form. So we can check whether this record has been created in Salesforce. So this is the record which we had created right now, Ganesh Tankare. And now if we want to update it, so the condition which we had given in this form assembly was we had just looked up the last name and email ID. Now if we just replace our first name, instead of Ganesh, we write Harish. And we'll just submit it. We'll check whether the contact has been updated. So you can see here, the first name has been updated over in this records. Instead of Ganesh, Harish has been visible. So this is how we connected our form assembly forms with the Salesforce when a record is created. And here we also have a publish option. In this publish, option, we can publish this form with the by the sharing the public address, as well as can publish it in your own website, or else you can just use the WordPress plugin function. And in processes, you can do whatever process you want in this accordingly, according to your functions you require in this. So you have lot many features in this. And notification here, as after submitting the form, you get the message, thank you for submitting the response. If you want anything, another acknowledgement, you can write over here. And if you want to redirect this page somewhere like any another site, then you can use here. And here we have a great feature over here that you can all enable the email text as well as disable it. So if number of forms are getting submitted every time you get mail, so you can just disable that. So now, just now I created one record. So we can see that I have got a mail over here. So you get the mail as you create one record. It's in beautiful way given to you. And if with mail, you can even attach any PDF if you want. And there is collaboration also. You can go with it.
Vedika, I have a question here.
Yes.
So is there a way where we can add custom validations to the fields which we are using on the form?
Yeah.
Like for example, first name, last name should only contain, like letters and not numbers.
Yeah, sure. We are going to cover that point. Ganesh is going to cover that point.
Oh,
We can
okay,
use
okay.
validation.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Yeah, and just quickly, I will show you one simplest way of creating this form assembly. Here we have an import function. Here, if on clicking on just import from Salesforce, you're directly seeing the same page as you have seen there in connectors. Instead of going in the timeline and doing, it's very simple way. You can go and hit on your org. And if you want to read about this form assembly formula, anything, then you can just click here to read the documentations, which is present over here. And suppose I'm selecting an object as account ID, field names, account phone number. You can do it very quickly here. As soon as and I'm clicking here, the form is getting created below. If I'm clicking on any of the field, you can get a ready-made form over here. And as I click on save and test,
Yes, Vedika, I will cover into that part.
okay,
Yes.
yes, you cover it. So further part will be taken by Ganesh.
Yes, then I will share my screen.
Yeah. You share your screen, Ganesh.
Yes. My screen is visible?
Yes.
Yes. So as you all have just seen that Vedika, how she created the form from drag and drop system, and she mapped the each fields with the cells with the form assembly. But instead of doing that, what we can do, when if there are more than 10 or more than 4 to 5 fields, then we have to just simply click on this import button, import from the Salesforce, and connect to the Salesforce. This is my org. Allow the access. This is a faster way instead of doing that drag and drop. But in this, we have to do the layout design with the help of the HTML and CSS. That also we can do over here. This will take few seconds. So as you can see, this is the my org data, and these are the fields. So I have created the custom object on the form assembly. So this is in my form assembly. And here, in order to create a form, here the priority is main. So let's say I want the first name at the top, then I will select the first. As you can see below, first name is here, then the last name, contact number, and email. But I can't make any changes here in this because I want to change the here. I want to change here the name of the form, but I can't do that. So to do this, we have to save this form. This will take few seconds because it's retrieving the data from the org. Yes, form is created now. Now we'll go to this form list. Okay, this is the previously created form. And now to change the name of the form, then we can do this from here. As you can see, all the fields are here, and here no need to map each field. So we'll only put the name as imported from Salesforce. We'll save and we'll check whether the data is stored into the org or not. Click on this view button. I'm audible, right?
Yes, Ganesh.
Yes, Ganesh.
Yes. So we'll enter the data. Now we'll cross check whether the data is stored or not. As you can see, here is the record Akshay Patil. Now what we'll do the validation for the each field. As you can see, here is the contact field. So let's say suppose I want here only the numbers to be entered by the end user. So we'll click on this field, and here is the option button. From the option, as you can see, here is the validation rules. So from this validation rule, I want the expected input format to be the a number format instead of decimal. Then I want to give here the limit as the 10. Now this field will accept only the number format and the 10 digits only. I have to click on this save. Into the view, as you can see, the character 7 characters are left, but I'm entering here alphabets. Here is the error message which is shown by this form assembly, and we can do this customize error message also, but for this we need the paid version of the software. uh, Now we'll enter the exact digits. Now this will accept the record. So like this, we can do the validation rule for the each of the fields. For the first name, only the characters will be accepted, like for email also and for contact. Now, and simultaneously, we are receiving the emails from form assembly, and we can do the UI changes over here by clicking on these properties. As you can see, here is the custom code, and I want let's see, basic HTML code. As you can see, like this, we can make any of the changes through the documentation, through the CSS. They have provided the proper documentation for the changes. Now we'll see the calculated field. What is the main importance of the calculated field in this? So let's see. Right now, these are the only fields. Now we have to make these fields into the variables for the changes. So we'll click on save. Back to form list. Build. Now this is the only normal first name field. Now we'll make it as a variable through the options. From here as a calculations. As you can see here, here is the calculation field. Now we are making it to the variable, and now I'm assigning the name as the first name. Okay, like similar way, we'll make this for the last name as well. We go to the options, then calculations. We'll make this as a variable, name as a last name. Now I want to concatenate this first name and last name into the full name. So what I will do, I'll just add one more field over here. Text input as the full name. I'll go to the options of this field. From my options, calculations, and I'm making here this field as a calculated field because we are calculating here the first name, and because we are here concatenating the first name and last name. Calculated field, yeah. First name, as you can see, here are the variable names, first name and last name that I have just created here. So we'll add here first name. Now they have specified here a Unicode for the space. That Unicode is the /u in their document on 0020. Plus for the concatenation plus last name.
What is that TFA_1 and TFA_2?
This is the Unicode, which is mentioned by the form assembly for the space.
So we can use these fields, these values also to concatenate, right?
Yes. But
Okay.
Yes. So this is for the basically this is for the space only. This Unicode. Then we'll save. We'll check whether it's working or not. As you can see, here is the full name, Saurabh Kulkarni is created. So like this, we can add a particular calculated field for such operations. So now we'll see one more scenario for the in the calculated field, so that we can do the calculations in this. We'll add here radio buttons after this full name, radio buttons. And let's see, I want to check the end user, which plan is taken by the end user. So subscription plan type. Now from here, choices, you create the choices as, let's see, bronze plan is there, silver, and third one is the gold. And we'll add one more radio button field for the customer type. From the choices, I want only two choices, so we'll delete one. From here, existing user, second one is for the new user. Save changes. Now we'll click on this option. From option, we'll go to this calculations, and we'll make this as a variable, and we'll give the name as a plan for the subscription plan type plan. And here I can add the amount. Let's say suppose I want for bronze to be $100, this to be 200, to be, let's say, 300, like this. Now we'll do the same for this customer type as well. We'll go to this calculations and make this as a variable. We'll make this as a discount. And if it's an existing user, then we are reducing the dollar, then we are reducing the $20. And if it is a new user, then we are not reducing any of the amount. Now we'll add one more field as a total cost, text input for the total cost. Options, into the calculations. Now I'm clicking on this calculated field because we are doing here the calculations. And now, as per the variables, I have created plan and discount. I want to, whatever the plan is selected, and if it is an existing customer, then I'm reducing that $20 for the discount. So we'll save this. Now we'll check. You can see first name, here bronze is for 100, silver 200, 300, and if it is an existing user, then reduce 20. Like this, if it is a new user, then this will be 300, no deduction will be there. So I'll click on submit. Yeah, so like this we can use the calculated field for the particular forms. And now we'll move towards the pre-filled scenario, that how to retrieve the data from the Salesforce or to the forms. For this, we'll go to the connectors. Before that, what I'll do, I'll just remove those fields because those fields we are not storing into the aux. Remove this so that pre-filling will work properly. Okay. We'll click on these connectors. Now, as you can see, when I submitted the form, then the data is stored into the OR. But I want the data from the OR to the form. Then I will click on this before the form open, add connector and Salesforce prefill. I'll configure this. As I have already entered my log data, so I'll click on this. You have to enable the connection. This will take few seconds to load the connector instructions. Then I'm configuring my first lookup. And here my object is the form assembly. And I'm searching with the email ID because it's an unique for each user. And here I'm clicking on the unsecure parameter. Through this we can easily find out whether the through this we can easily find out the unique ID of the uniqueness from the particular record, and we can get details. And this is the we can add here as a variable for this email add. If no matching record is found, then this will skip the pre-filling, and if one of the matching record is found, then pre-fill with this record. Then you can change as per your need. Then we are keeping this as a default only for now. We'll map our fields, and as you can see, this is the column for the form fields. Like whatever the fields are there into the form, this will show for Salesforce fields, and we are getting the data from that is the first name. As if you observe that here both the fields are same because I have directly imported my form from the Salesforce org. So that's why here both the fields are same. But into the drag drop system, there can be difference. Last name, contact number. Okay, mapping is done. Back to the form list, and we'll enter one data and we'll check whether the pre-filling is working or not. Now we'll check. that I have created that variable email add is equals to gmail.com. I have just entered this email ID for the Viren Parekh. As you can see, pre-filling is working for this form. Now we'll go into these other scenarios of such as after form submitted and all. As you can see into the connectors, here is the after form submitted. Basically, this feature is being used for the end user to receive an email and email notifications when someone submits a response to the when someone submits the particular form. But as of now, this feature is restricted because we are using the free trial. Into this notification, let me show you. Into this notification, as you can see, this is the restricted usage. So this is on here is only my email ID is set as of now. I cannot mention here CC BCC email address also. And this paid version can allow the user to save their progress on the form itself and resume the form later. And we can and email ID can be sent to any user, and we can provide the CC email address as well. And autoresponder also feature is here into this paid version. So this can be used into the after form submitted section, as well as some of the scenarios are there after form submitting. Then this will check with the pre-existing data whether it is overlapping or not. Then we can set a particular formulas also, and we are still figuring out some of the scenarios. So yeah, that's it we did as of now. I think hope you all understood.
Nice. This was a nice presentation. And thank you for highlighting all the possible scenarios, all the possible things which we can do with form assembly. Yeah.
Yes.
So just wanted to confirm if you can show us the real-time scenarios which you have faced while working on tickets.
Basically what happened, Sultan is working on that, and we had and we come to know that a particular syntax is wrong into that formula field, and due to
Okay, what was the formula field? Can you please explain? Give us a small demo on that.
Actually, that is just for the paid version, and this whatever we are using is just for trial, and in this we can't use it. So we're not able to explore that actually, but we have seen it because Sultan was working on it, and we got to know what was it just because of him.
So you are saying that it was just because
means on that field exactly.
Sorry to interrupt you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Sultan.
So Bidita, actually, they have covered pretty much everything which comes in under the free trial. And yeah, once they get the actual account, they may explore more. There is one more functionality of sending the notification, which is not covered under. We can send a notification for one recipient. For multiple, we need the actual account. So there are a couple of scenarios that we cannot really have a demo on right now because we're using the trial version of the account. So because of that restrictions, the actual scenarios that we had and that we are having currently for a couple of form assembly related issues from the client, we cannot demo it.
To be frank, it was it was too much, guys. Yeah, you guys have covered so much, and I didn't expect this much from you guys. I'm really happy with this.
Yes, it was a nice presentation. So basically, I just wanted to confirm it was just a syntax issue, right?
Yes, like this.
Yeah, so
here is one formula field now. So like this, there is a semicolon is there, so that's why I think semicolon is not there, so that's why it's going into the false condition. So that's why two records are being created into the tickets of 8 to 1, I think.
True and false
Okay.
conditions
Yes,
were there.
true and false
True and
conditions.
false.
Conditions are
True and
there.
false condition were there. True and between true and false, there was not a comma. I mean, that comma was inside
Semicolon.
that double inverted commas. So that condition was getting not successfully satisfied. So the two forms were creating in backend. But as soon as we replaced that comma after that inverted commas, the single only form was getting created at backend.
And Sultan did
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And what is the subscription fees?
It's
Subscription charges to buy the paid version?
$240 for per month.
$240 per month.
Per month. Okay. Okay, so that was a nice presentation, guys. Thank you so much. Anyone else have any queries or any questions? Kalpesh, do you have any questions?
Yes. So Ganesh, actually, can you go to the build form?
Okay.
Okay. So you can every time you don't need to like create a variable. Instead of that, form assembly itself creates a API name for each field. Okay. Can you
Like
check
this.
the yeah. So you can this one as well.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I'll
So
explore.
this is used. Yeah. So this is used at the time of form submission notification. Also in email we can use this one, this fields.
Okay. Yes.
This is automatically generated value, right, Kalpesh?
Yes. They are
Yes.
the,
Is it
actually they are
possible to change?
no, we cannot change that. Actually, they are the API name generated by the form assembly itself.
Same like in Salesforce, we cannot make the changes. Okay.
Right. But you can use like a TFA one field into the, like, for example, you want to send a notification and you have to mention, like, customize that notification or emails. Then at that time you can use this one.
Okay.
Yes.
Also, let's say if you are using the dependent field or some validation, then you can also refer this API names.
Okay.
So generally, while building the forms, I have observed that in the actual account, I mean, the client account, they have used variable instead of the name. So, I mean, you will see everywhere in the formula, like the calculated field, right? You will see the variables, the API instead of the name, actual name. So yeah, so don't get confused.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
From
it.
the form outline, we will get the API name for all the fields, yeah, whichever is used.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Just by checking, like searching on the page, you can get that name.
Okay. Any other questions?
So regarding the notifications, you mentioned that on the paid version we get an option to select the recipients.
Yes.
So does it show the field, like the email fields, like we have an email alert in Salesforce? Like can we select the recipient as an email field, or just do we have to like type in the email address?
Yes.
No. Yeah. Please go ahead, Ganesh.
The fields will be automatically generated over there, whatever we are using over here.
Okay. So it's on the only paid version, right?
Yeah.
Yes. In the paid version only for the notifications.
Okay.
Any more questions?
No.
Okay. So I think that was all. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you, Ganesh and Vedika, for taking out time and giving us the walkthrough. So Ganesh, I think you have recorded the session, right?
Yes, Vedika.
Okay, please share the recording with me. I will just save it in our drive. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Yes.
Managed services drive. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, guys. It
Thank
was a
you.
lovely one. Yeah.
Thank you everyone for your time.
Thank
Thank you everyone for your
Bye.
time. Bye.
Thank you, Ganesh.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.